Good evening. Good evening. I'd like to call the Peoria Public Schools Board of Education meeting for November 7th, 2016 to order. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Jackson.
Here.
Dr. Davidson-Aviles.
Here.
Mr. Adler.
Here.
Commissioner Shaw.
Here.
Ms. Lindquist here. Mr. Walter.
Here.
Mrs. Costick. Mrs. Ross.
Here. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thanks for the distance. I agree.
May I have a motion for the approval of minutes for October 24th, 2016?
So moved.
Second.
Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Jackson.
Yes.
Dr. Davidson-Aviles.
Aye.
Mr. Adler.
Aye.
Mr. Shaw.
Aye.
Mr. Walter.
Aye.
Mrs. Ross.
Aye.
6 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. This month's or this session's community recognition is an award goes to the Illinois Center for Continuous School Improvement, and that is Illinois CSI, including team members Roxanne Folsom, Suzanne Gleason, and Sandy Wilson, who work with Peoria Public School administrators, principals, and assistant principals to improve our district leadership, the universal leadership teams and professional learning communities, and the articulation between each so that our district is better aligned and able to move forward more quickly when it comes to student achievement and district performances. As a part of their work, they played a major role in the development of our district's strategic plan last year and assist us in seeing the plan through on a regular basis. In fact, they recently published a case study on our district in their organization's annual review that is the statewide publication. And so at this time, I would like to ask the Illinois CSI team, please come to the podium and share more. Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Thank you so much for this honor. We are so proud of the work that we're able to do in Peoria Public Schools. And in Illinois CSI, we have 10 different regions in the state, and we serve over 94 districts and 400 schools. I oversee the work in Area 3, where there are 10 districts that we provide services to. And my teams that work in those districts all look to Peoria Public Schools as one of our bright shining stars. We have found that with the visionary leadership of Dr. Karat and the fabulous leadership teams, wonderful principals, assistant principals, and teachers, that Peoria Public School is on the path to transformation. I have with me tonight 2 of my team members, Sandy Wilson and Susan Clesath, and they're going to share a little bit with you about the work that's been done in Peoria Public Schools.
Thank you, Roxanne. President Ross and members of the board, I want to thank you for this honor, but it's our honor to work with your team and the people that you have put in place. You have an amazing team. And I like to, as part of what I talk about, when I talk about the strategic plan, we met with Dr. Karat on day 6 of her appointment. And when we met with her, she handed us this document, the priorities from the board, and the 9 priorities, and from these priorities, you have that beautiful, comprehensive, very bold strategic plan, and I think it's something to be very proud of. Other districts have organizations come in and develop those plans and hand them to the district. This plan came from the district. It was an unprecedented collaboration, as you well know. We worked with your district leadership team members. They came in to every meeting, positive, ready to go, ready to put this plan in place. And we were able to be a part of that, and for that, we are so very, very grateful. As Sandy said back in January when it was approved, it is truly a labor of love from the people in this district, because it honors everything that has happened up to this point, and then it builds on all of those good things. In addition, it adds some very bold pieces to move this district forward. We've been thrilled to be a part of it, so thank you so much.
So as Susan said, we developed the plan, and the plan was communicated, and luckily, many stakeholders get to see the document that you have. And so this year, we are working the plan. So we are meeting with the core group at each level. We want to make sure the district leadership team, the school leadership team, and then the educators in the buildings. So the PLCs, they're all involved in making sure that, as President Ross said, everything is aligned. There's a lot of work that's gone in this, so we want to make sure that everything is aligned. So everyone that is working with their school improvement plan, it is aligned to the strategic plan. The principal evaluation tool was redesigned, aligned to the strategic plan. So you have a really rock-solid document that is able to build or move this district forward, and alignment is the key word. So we're excited about that work and love working with Peoria School District.
Thank you.
So on behalf
Any
of
other
the-
comments? No.
Comments?
Yep. So on behalf of Peoria Public Schools, we have a small token of appreciation. Unfortunately, it's one. Very nicely. So we'll give it to Mrs. Filson and Dr. Wilson and Ms. Clesa and Roxanne. Thank you for sharing them sharing your team with us. They've worked very, 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 very hard. CSI is all about focusing on best practices and using research-based and helping districts to sort of get better. And you're right, some of the big things they helped us with, the strategic plan, it was pretty intense when I first started, as they said, and I'm like, hey, I have the perfect item that you can assist us, collaborate with us, so we've done a nice job with that, working with us on that. The evaluation tool for administrators, also that's brand new, and it's aligned with our strategic plan. They had a major role to play with that. And the 5 essentials, some great work. They took all of the schools' individual data, because we got information from kids, from parents, from staff, and consolidated that, compressed it into 1 or 2 pages, all of the buildings, just beautiful work, and I'm continuing to reference it and use it and share it with others. Just amazing work, so thank you. And I asked our union president, Jeff, to Mr. Atkins Dutro to join us, because he's also as part of our district leadership team, you get to also experience their work, right? He says he just wants to shake their hand.
Thank you so much.
Just make some comments with him. I'm not sure when he's ever shy.
Not necessarily shy, but I will say that the union definitely appreciates being part of the DLT and being part of the process. You've made us feel very welcome.
It's
Appreciate
fun,
that.
it's
Good
fun
work.
working with you, and we're doing great work. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for kind
Thank you.
remarks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? No comments? Okay. Do we have any announcements? Vice President Adler?
Kind of keeping in line with the thought that we never stop learning, Peoria Public Schools is glad to welcome 2 Girl Scout troops here to watch our meeting tonight. Troop number 4540, led by Ms. Denise Hanson, and Troop 4341, led by Mrs. Stephanie Parks. Thanks for coming, girls.
Right.
All right, I'm I'm on a roll, so.
Okay.
Next up, Peoria Public Schools Foundation has announced the recipients of the 2016 Classroom Grants and Field Experiences Grant. Peoria Public Schools Foundation and its donors helped make possible more than $20,000 in projects this year. It's my pleasure to invite and welcome Foundation President Cindy Morris to the podium to introduce this year's winners.
Good evening, President Ross and Board of Education. We are extremely proud to be here tonight in our 19th year of providing classroom grants in Peoria Public Schools. Raise your hand if you love teachers here. I know we sure do. First, I'd like to recognize the hard part of this great process, the Classroom Grant Committee. We had on the committee this year Dr. Val Pierce, Ed Berry, Marcy Steele, Susan Gobine, and Dr. Cindy Fisher. We had 36 applications this year, and we're able to fund 23 grants. I'd also like to recognize Foundation President and Board Member Kathy Wiggers, a retired school district administrator, who's here tonight. And before I mention the names and the schools of the grants that were awarded this year, I'd like to thank the principals in attendance tonight and the families. Each year, you know, it really takes the principals encouraging teachers and staff to apply for the grants. And thank you for supporting your teachers tonight by attending. We had a small reception over at Von Steuben a little while earlier, so new this year, we will just have the teachers stand up and mention their school. We do have handouts of what the grants actually were, so those are available tonight as well. If teachers can stand up until all are announced, that would be great. We'll start off with Lynn Anderson Loy and Melissa Hickman of Roosevelt Magnet School. Okay. We have Teresa Stevens of Jamison School. We have Katie Cunningham and Lauren Wolf of Thomas Jefferson. We have Michelle Smith of Thomas Jefferson. We have Cindy Bowski of Keller Primary. Amanda Brown of Roosevelt Magnet School. We have Cheryl Halm of Day Treatment. Cammie Williams of Tree Win. We have Chetney Cobb and Jasmine Davison of Harrison Community. We have Justine Gasper of Roosevelt Magnet School. Jane Bielenberg of Thomas Jefferson. Kelsey Malahy of Roosevelt Magnet School. Deanna Johnson of Woodrow Wilson School. Shelley Daughtery of Richwoods High School. Courtney Lee from Sterling Middle School. Denise Smith of Roosevelt School. Maricia Page of Woodrow Wilson. Kathy McKenzie from Manual Academy. Julie Jenkins of Thomas Jefferson. Don Gersich of Rolling Acres. Adam Stevens of Manual Academy. Dr. Michael Smith from Richwoods. Kathleen Gondek from Lincoln. And raise your hand if it's the first time you've received a grant. That's impressive. So let's congratulate our classroom grant winners. You can have a seat. And those grants are funded each year through the Community Foundation of Central Illinois in a collaborative work, as I mentioned earlier, the Rena and Murray Yeoman family and the foundation. New this year, we had people in the community say that field trips were getting cut from school budgets. So we did some grant work, and the Kroger Foundation made a grant this year, and we added this component to the classroom grant program. We have 6 teachers that were awarded a field trip experience grant this year. And at this time, I'd like to recognize those. We have Demetra Bolden of Woodruff Career and Technical Center. We have Heidi Dowell of Von Steuben. We have Jane Bielenberg of Thomas Jefferson. Justine Thompson of Calvin Coolidge. Keisha Mitchell, Manual Academy. Robin White, Mark Bill's School. And Thomas Hayes of Rich Woods. Let's congratulate the field experience. Did you have a question?
I did. I was just wondering if there were any principals from any of the schools present.
So I see Harrison, Ms. Daniels, Ms. Andrews, Ms. Shula.
If they would
Principals,
just-
please
why don't we
stand.
just stand?
Yes, please stand.
Stand. Ms. Clark, Roosevelt. Did we miss anybody?
Ms. Andrews back here.
Ms.
Did you
Andrews.
stand? Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was a great year, and we're very appreciative of all the applications, excited about this year, and thank you for letting us present tonight.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Questions or comments?
I just wanted to say that I'm extremely proud of teachers for going above and beyond. Those little things really continue to motivate me to continue to work hard for you. So thank you administrators for continuing to work collaboratively and encourage and share the information. And our young students in the audience, your teachers are really working very hard and going above and beyond. And actually what they're doing is they're writing and they have an idea and they're writing to the foundation, to someone, to ask for money, to fund the idea, to do fun things with you. Does that sound cool? Yeah? So thank your teachers, and also don't be afraid to give them a hug and tell them thank you, okay? All right. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, principals. Thank you, Cindy, foundation.
Mr. Adler, you still have another announcement?
Yep. And last but not least,
Mr. Adler, stay living.
oh,
We'll give him a minute to get out. Okay, Mr. Adler.
last but not least, next week, Peoria Public Schools will be celebrating Grandparents' Week with breakfast, lunches, and other special events at each school. Grandparent Week observances are a wonderful way for school staff and teachers to get a look at the work children are doing in class. Events for each school will be posted on the school's website calendar by the end of this week, and we encourage all grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other special friends of our students to join Grandparents' Week celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you. Other announcements? Mr. Shaw?
Okay. Men in the Peoria community are invited to What a Man, What a Man, the first community-wide all-male conference this Saturday, November 12th at Franklin Primary School, 807 West Columbia Terrace. That's going to be from 1 to 3:15 p.m. Keynote speaker will be Clifton Mitchell. Mitchell is a lifelong Peorian and a graduate of Peoria High School, Bradley University, and the University of Illinois School of Law. He has served as Managing Director of Prairie State Legal Services, Assistant Public Defender in private practice, and for the City of Peoria. Other conference speakers will be Employment Readiness featuring Wayne Cannon of Commonplace, Self-Handicapping Behaviors Inhibiting Males to Succeed, presented by Agbara Bryson of the New Millennium Institute, and then Complaint and Compliance presented by Peoria Police Officer Duncan. To register, call Ann Bond or LaFelda Jones at 309-682-2693.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other announcements? Dr. Ball.
Oh boy, hold on to your hats. The Peoria High School Lions advance to the IHSA quarterfinal and will take on the Washington Panthers on Saturday, November 12th at 7 p.m. in the Peoria Stadium. Tickets are $6. Gates open at 6. No passes will be accepted. Tickets will be available in the school office Wednesday and Thursday. Tickets will also be available at the gate Saturday night. This is incredible. So to get there, the Peoria Lions football team compiled several impressive statistics. Y'all know where I'm going, don't you? And state records, including the largest gathering of points in a playoff game the state has ever seen. With how many points? 96 points in a 96-40 victory over Decatur Eisenhower in the second round of the Class 5A playoffs. The Lions set the state record for points in a game. 2 Hall of Fame football coaches were also honored during halftime at the November 4th Peoria High School game. I hope I have this name correctly. Larry Lavery? Did I pronounce his name correctly?
Lavery.
Or is it Lavery?
Lavery.
I'm a new guy. In charge of the Lions football program for, 27 seasons. Of course I should know his name. Won more than any coach in the history of the school. Lavery joined the PHS coaching staff in 1965, becoming head coach in 1972. He also served 6 seasons as a head wrestling coach. He was inducted into the Greater Peoria Sports Hall of Fame in 2000. Phil Salzer joined the Peoria High School football and track staff in 1964. He served as head track and field coach from 1966 through 1989, and assistant football coach from 1964 through 1994. He was inducted into the Greater Peoria Sports Hall of Fame in 1998. Congratulations to both coaches.
Other announcements? Elizabeth?
The application deadline for the Richwoods High School International Baccalaureate Diploma Program is Friday, November 18th, 2016. Interested students who are currently in 8th, 9th, or 10th grade may apply for entry into the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program at Richwoods High School for the 2017 to 2018 school year. It's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
While the vast majority of students begin the pre-IB track as freshmen, students can also join before their sophomore or even junior year. Applications and supporting information can be accessed at the Richwoods High School webpage under Academies or contact Travis Bolby at 309-550-7611.
Thank you. Other announcements? Yes, ma'am.
Parent University heads to the Peoria Riverfront on Thursday, November 17th. Join us for this great evening hosted by Thomas Jefferson Primary School and Von Steuben Middle School. The fun begins at 5 p.m. at the Gateway Building with a Vanny's dinner and entertainment by Babaloo, a one-man musical comedy act for kids of all ages. Families have an option of enjoying an evening cruise on the Spirit of Peoria. Seats are limited and reservations are required. Due to the cost of this activity, there is a small fee to ride, including $5 for adults and $3 for children. Shuttle buses will transport families to the Contemporary Center for holiday crafts, family photos, which are just in time for the holidays. Please visit our website at www.peoriapublicschools.org/RSVP so that there's plenty of food. So when you RSVP, then we'll have enough food for everybody. Parking is limited downtown, so shuttle buses from Manual Academy, Peoria High, Woodruff Career Technical Center, Von Steuben, and Thomas Jefferson will depart at 4:45 p.m. and will return to these locations at 6:30 and 8 p.m. Remember to bring your Parent University passport booklet if you have one. If you have your passport stamped at 2 of the 4 Parent University events this semester, you'll be entered into a drawing for fantastic prizes. Bring your family to Parent University Thursday, November 17th at 5 p.m.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson?
Had it. Tomorrow, the big day is Election Day. Here is important information from the Peoria County Election Commission. Polls are open on Tuesday, November 8th from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. You may register to vote on Election Day at your polling place. If you need to find out your polling place, check online at www.peoriaelections.org/where-to-vote or call the Election Commission at 309-494-8683. If you or anyone you know needs a ride to the polls on Tuesday, November 8th, call 309-676-0380 or 309-689-8467. Now the important part. The last item on the ballot is the Peoria County Schools facility sales tax. As we have discussed at previous meetings, the Peoria County Schools facility sales tax, if passed, will impose a 0.5% tax on some items such as clothing, restaurant meals, electronics, or jewelry. Unprepared food, cars, pharmaceuticals, and over-the-counter medication and farm vehicles will not be taxed. The ballot reads as follows. County schools facility sales tax. Shall a retailer's occupation tax and a service occupation tax, commonly referred to as a sales tax, be imposed in the Peoria, County of Peoria, Illinois, at a rate of 0.5% to be used exclusively for school facility purposes. Vote yes or no.
You didn't have to read the last part.
Mr. Wanda?
I know it.
Congratulations to Peoria Public Schools Board of Education Vice President Dan Adler and Director of Communications and Community Engagement Chris Copeland, recent recipients of the 2016 40 Leaders Under 40 Award presented annually by Peoria magazines. Copeland was recognized for his 9 years with the Peoria Public Schools, directing marketing, public relations, and community engagement efforts through 3 administrative transitions, the development of the 5-year strategic plan, and the recent grade-level reconfiguration. Adler, technology marketing consultant at Caterpillar Incorporated, was recognized for 10 years leading projects related to safety and sustainability, as well as leadership to the Peoria Public Schools as a board member and the president of the Keller Primary School Parent-Teacher Organization. Congratulations to both of you.
Yes. Would you all like to speak? Mr. Adler?
I will just say that it was a great honor to be recognized for serving the community alongside a ton of other really talented and wonderful individuals, and I'll just leave it there.
Would you like something, Chris?
I'll echo what Dan said.
You're going to dovetail.
My class.
All right. Thank you. Any other announcements? District presentations or presentation. Ms. Jenkins will talk a little bit about the parent engagement training that has already been done and is continually going, right?
Yes.
All right.
Exactly. See if this is. Good evening, good.
It's on? Okay. Good evening. I have a short presentation for you. We want to do it more as an update for you around our parent engagement. It correlates very closely with our Pillar 4, engaging families and communities, so that's why it's very, very important to us. We held workshops from, you can see there, the 25th all the way through the 28th, and they were 2-hour workshops at 8 selected schools. Our consultant that was brought in was Mr. Bob Hoffman, very informed around family engagements, and you have packets in front of you that show you the information that was shared with the families and the participants of the workshop. And also Ms. Vera Lee Smith is a retired administrator that we brought back in to make sure that we were able to work with parents very up close and personal at each school. So we respect and appreciate the support that was given to make these workshops happen. The goal was to have each school have at least 10 parents that went through the training so that we would have a core of parents at each school that would then be willing to and able to take the work forward that we are trying to closely work with around goals and missions and visions for the schools. And so to get parents on one accord, we wanted to make sure that we had this training. The goal was 10. We fell a little bit short of our goal, but it was very great to see the number of parents that did come out. We had males, females, we had some of the principals, some of the administrators came and listened in and took part in. So we had a total of 56 parents that actually participated in the workshop from the 8 schools. And here you can see the different schools that were involved. Glen Oak also had a couple parents that came out, and so on the next round we'll be able to get more parents from the other schools as well. But the whole idea of the workshop was to make sure that we taught as we went through how to hold meetings, how to engage other parents when you're holding meetings. And so these were the protocols that were set up for the workshops, and I think that's just as important as the workshop itself, so that when you're working with different parents at the different schools, that we all have the understanding of how to do the things that we do at meetings naturally. And I think they were very impressed with how that made the meetings flow. So you can see the kinds of things that we were working with there for our protocols. Parent engagement is different than parent involvement, and so I just tried to highlight some of the key things that were talked about. There were many things that were on the docket that we were able to get to in that 2 hours, but if you'll take a look at looking outside the box, I think that one was very important. And one of the things that we were asked to do was to make, how can you make that be 6 instead of what we know as a room in number 9. And so does anybody on the board want to be able to say, how do you make that be 6 when it's really 9? And those that went to the meeting know, so that's no fair. But I know you all see it because all you do is add the S, and now you've got 6. And so one of the things that was very nice was to be able to get the parents that were involved there to be able to really let go of some of those old tapes and think about how can you do things differently and still be receptive and respectful of everyone's needs when you're trying to bring different families together. And some parents did get that. I think they all got the idea of thinking outside the box, but he made us go through some activities that helped us to see what our old tapes were and to help us think of how to do things differently. And then also getting involved with your child's instruction. That's nothing new, but just, again, we've got things at the district level, such as family access, that makes that very easy to do. So we're making sure, again, that we're always teaching about what the district already has and how to utilize some of those things, and being engaged in all aspects of your child's life, no surprises. Just, again, thinking outside the box and saying, not thinking that my child would never do that, thinking in terms of what can I do to make sure that my child's informed and that I don't have surprises coming up in my own life when I'm trying to help others. And so, again, the engagement piece was more about not just showing up for activities, but really having decision-making, that shared leadership piece, I think was very important, helping parents to understand that we really do want them to be a part of the decision-making piece that happens at the schools, and not just the activities that happen that are social, but really the educational piece too. A lot of good dialogue about the new tapes piece, and so in your packets you have some of the resources that were used at the workshop, and then you will also have some of the information that going forward, Ms. Smith will be working with those parents, because it wasn't a one-time hit. It's one of those things that we're going to keep going back and continuing throughout the rest of the year, so that they do feel like they've got that shared leadership. And again, obviously, the engagement piece is to increase our participation. And so we were talking about how that happens, and I shared with you already some of the things that we talked about there. Even the way we held the meetings, it was not just in the evening. We did some during the day, we did some in the evening. So helping the leaders of those school PTOs to understand that you do have to think in terms of even doing something like a survey or a phone message link where people can still be involved, and they don't have to actually be sitting at the table to participate. So it's really getting them to understand how to have a communication plan that thinks outside that usual box of sitting at a meeting once a month. And again, to increase here are some of the things that we talked about, and you can see for yourself that some of those ideas are the same things that we do, but again, the messaging, the body, how it's framed, how it's presented, how often it's presented, and then also talk to them about their particular schools. What works for your school doesn't necessarily work for somebody else's school. So really taking that into consideration when you're holding these workshops. Here's some of the feedback that we received, because it's very important when you do something like this to see what people think about it. And there was a lot of powerful information that was received back, and I just gave you a quick slide of some of the things, but we had probably 3 pages worth of information that we will use now to continue the work. And I think it was really nice just to see the meetings that we held at night weren't always just for one school. Any school that wanted to participate could come. So we were mixing the schools, and so got a lot of positive comments about the workshop itself. We will continue. The next steps are to continue with Vera Lee helping to continue to go to those meetings, to PTO meetings. We're going to be doing our visions and our mission statements. We'll have those done by the end of next month. We're working on those this month so that we'll have those. And the action plans are not just with the PTOs, but again, it's with the principals and the administrative teams working with the group. So, and to continue to have repeats of the workshop so that we can meet that goal of a real solid core of 10. So it was really nice to see that we had as many as 7, as many as 9. So some schools got very close to that 10, but we'll still hit that target by the end of December. So that's just a quick overview to let you know that the work for the PTOs is productive and ongoing, and that families took it and received it well. Do you have any questions?
Questions or comments? Apropos to your presentation, I just wanted to, talk a little bit about some of the things that are going to increase the participation and, parent involvement. Most recently, we've had some meetings with the Department of Human Services, and we're going to be working with about 100 parents from the Department of Human Services. And, we say about 100, the limit is 100, so that will increase the PTOs, and they will be able to get the training, and, all the research talks about parental involvement increases, the education of children.
Yes.
So I'm glad to see, this is a good start, and many of them will need to go through this kind of training. So
it was very positive energy for the people that came out. So kudos to each of those schools for really working to get that up and going, and we'll continue the work.
Any comments, or Ms. Jackson?
First of all, I'd like to thank you for putting that on. I got to be with some parents at Tree Win, and they were really involved. They were all part of the discussion and what was going on. They talked about their experiences and working with others. And I see this whole thing dovetailing with the Parent Advisory Committee
Yes.
that's trying to work to get parents involved and to make sure that every school has a PTO where parents come and are comfortable coming and enjoy being with their children and around their teachers. So I want to thank you for what happened. Your presenter was wonderful.
Thank you.
He involved everybody. He was just the right person for the job. So thank you. I think that the important thing is get our parents totally involved in their children's lives, in their educational process. And this is beginning to happen, that you'll see involvement from parents. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Any other comments or questions of Ms. Jenkins?
I just wanted to thank Ms. Ross and Ms. Jackson for attending the training. I know all of the board members were at different events and training in Chicago, different ones, but the two of you somehow snuck away and were able to attend, so thank you.
We enjoyed it. There's nothing else. Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. Okay. Ms. Gershnich will talk a little bit about the introduction of the National Board Certified Teacher Team.
Good evening,
Good evening.
President Ross and Board, Dr. Karat. Dr. Karat and I had the opportunity last spring, probably in March, to hear about National Board Certified Teacher Program from Deb Kaspersky, who's not here tonight. And so we were very excited about it because it was an investment in our teachers, and we know an investment in our teachers is an investment in our students. So tonight, we have some of our teachers here. I put out the call, and I figured I'd get about 10 teachers to sign up, and we ended up with about 27, I think, so it was really exciting. So I want to recognize the administrators first that are helping with the National Board program. That's Mrs. Stockman, she's here, and Dr. Bell is down here, Katie Powers and Carrie Berger, who are not here tonight, but I want to make sure I recognize them. Next, I want to ask Mrs. George to come up and just give you a little overview of the National Board process.
Good evening. I've brought with me the other two co-facilitators of this program. This is Jamie Basnoff from Washington High School, Michelle Siver from Dunlap High School. Hi, Doctor. Hi, Mr. Walsh. First of all, we want to congratulate you for making that investment into your teachers. National Board is one of the best professional development experiences that I think the three of us would agree we've ever done. You are one of 11 schools in the state that has been part of the Illinois National Board Professional Development Schools, and you've been selected for that. It's not just anybody who wants to do it. So that shows your investment and your commitment to your teachers. There are 27 teachers representing 6 schools that are now have this opportunity to go through this nationally recognized professional development program. They'll go through 12 sessions focused on National Board certification. Certification process is aligned to the Common Core, the Danielson framework for teaching, and your own school and district goals. Each of these teachers is a part of one of 3 Peoria cohorts, although we all do meet at the same time so that we can share resources and divide up into different ways to structure that. Each cohort is led by a team of administrator, teacher liaison, and a National Board facilitator. Teachers use student work to analyze and reflect on student performance and justify evidence-based teaching strategies. Teachers articulate their teaching practice in collaborative conversations with other educators in this dynamic professional learning community throughout the school year. They also develop a portfolio with evidence of their impact upon the school community. Before we recognize and celebrate our teachers, just wondered if the board had any questions about this process. All right, let's celebrate our teachers. They're all not here. That's way more fun. I'd much rather celebrate teachers than answer questions. As Mrs. Morris' example suggested, I think we'll have them all stand, and then we'll applaud and celebrate them at the end. From Valeska Hinton, we have Natasha Garman. Kelly Dale, and Val Ray. From Northmore, we have Sarah Lane, Susan Martin, Katie Hoban, Dee Hagan, and Denise Termont. From the Developmental Center, we have Ashley Nailaway and Michelle Salazar. From Thomas Jefferson School, we have Tanya Buell, Katie Cunningham, and Elizabeth Smiley, who is not here with us. From Rolling Acres, we have Jeff Venegas. He also has other teachers with him who are not here. The other schools represented are Richwoods High School and Lincoln Primary School, or K-8 school. Thank them for their commitment. Ms. Jackson, you mentioned above and beyond. These are people who are, this is above and beyond. They will put themselves through a rigorous process for the next months. They will be examining and reflecting upon their teaching and truly putting time in that is above and beyond.
Thank you. Comments or questions? Okay.
I would just like to say thank you to the teachers for going above and beyond. I love that process. I believe in it. So again, thank you.
Give them a couple minutes. Go to the next level. We are now at the place on our agenda that provides an opportunity for the members of the community who wish to address the board. As you know, we are all volunteers elected to oversee the development, implementation, and maintenance of a quality education for the students of Peoria Public School, Peoria District 150 Public Schools. The board welcomes your comments and suggestions relating to this goal, recognizing that we all have our First Amendment rights of free speech. We ask that your comments be focused on those issues within the board's authority. There are some issues we are not at liberty to discuss in public, such as personnel and other executive session topics. However, if you have a specific personal concern that need to be addressed, we will have a staff person help you. In addition, the board members are accessible outside of these meetings. Our phone numbers and emails are listed on the website, psd150.org. We recognize that 5 minutes may not be enough time for some of you to express your thoughts, so we have installed a comment box for your convenience. Our board secretary will be collecting those comments after each meeting and compiling and sharing those with the board and the superintendent. When you are recognized, please come to the podium and state your name for our records. Each speaker has 5 minutes, and no one under age 18 may address the board unless accompanied by a parent, guardian, or teacher without the consent of the majority of the board members. Our first speaker is Ms. Andrea Totora. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
By now, I should know it, right? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, President Ross and members of the board, and Dr. Crott for letting me talk before you this evening. I am Andrea Tortora. I'm here tonight with the Friends of Peoria County Schools. If you don't know what that group is, we are the committee behind the Peoria County Schools facility sales tax. I can say we are the yes vote group. So I just wanted to give you an update on this eve before Election Day. In the past 2 months, we have reached more than 500,000 people through radio ads, print ads, social media ads, 1,030 lawn signs, and 14 billboards around the county. Hopefully, we've reached more than 500,000 people. We have been getting a pretty positive response as we have been out talking to different groups, district officials and administrators. Many of you have talked with people throughout the community. We've gone to numerous PTO meetings. We've gone to Rotary Club meetings, Kiwanis meetings. I'm forgetting all the Chamber of Commerce meetings. It's been quite an education for me. And I wanted to let you know that people have wonderful things to say about our district, about our teachers, about our students, and about our parents, and that's been wonderful for me to hear. We've been trying to do our best to get that positive word out. Superintendents in the other 17 counties feel pretty good about our efforts. I am hopeful that people will go to the polls and vote yes tomorrow. And I just wanted to remind everyone tonight to be sure to go out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for your hard work and efforts. You're welcome. Is there any response to audience presentation? Anything? We only had the one.
Just wanted to say thank you to the campaign manager, Mrs. Andrea Tortora, for all of your hard work and efforts, and just let you know that you're appreciated and you've done an amazing job, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. And thanks for being here this evening. It was a pleasant surprise. I can't say what you can say, so.
I think you said it.
You can't say ditto. Okay, thank you. Information items, proposed expenditures over $2,500. I started to say 200,000. $2,500. Any questions on the expenditures over $2,500?
I'm hopeful that you'll vote yes.
And just for the public too, they need to know that they do get, you get an update and an explanation.
We do. Do you want to say that louder?
If there are no questions, I just wanted the public to know that before every board meeting, the Friday before every board meeting, the board is updated on the expenditures, and they're provided clarity and an explanation. So if there are no questions, it could mean that they've read their notes, and the questions that they may have had may have been answered. There may be some questions too, but just wanted the public to know.
All right.
Know that.
Thank you.
They do get a lot of information behind the scenes.
Yes. Report of request under the Freedom of Information Act and the status of such request. Dr. Corral.
Since our last board meeting on October 24th, we've received one new request. There were two pending requests noted on October 24th. One was filled. To date, we have received 56 requests for this calendar year at a cost of $3,158.50. So we're doing well. We're working hard to fill the request.
Great, thank you. Consent agenda.
Madam President, the consent agenda consists of the following items for this evening. Number one, gifts to the school district. This meeting, $2,278. Year-to-date, $141,000, $696.65. Item two, the payment of bills. Item three, the payment for travel. Item four, the human resources report. Item five, the approval of the Title I school-wide plans. Item six, ratification of the collective bargaining agreement for homeschool facilitators from 2016 to 2019. And item number seven, counseling services contract for Victoria Lavick. And that is the totality of the consent agenda.
Are there any items that any board member would like to pull for a separate vote?
Yes, President Ross, I would like to pull the Human Resources Report.
Okay, that's number 4, thank you. Other items from board members? May I have a motion in a second?
President Ross, I move that we adopt the consent agenda with the exception of item 4.
Second.
Okay. Do we have a vote? It's been moved in second.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Dr. Davis-Innavilas?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mrs. Ross?
Aye.
6 ayes, motion carried.
Item 4, Human Resources Report.
I ask that that be pulled in order to indicate that I will be recusing myself because of a conflict of interest.
May I have a motion on any other comments or question on number 4? I have a motion and a second.
I move that we adopt item 4, the Human Resources Report.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Jackson?
Aye.
Dr. Davidson-Aviles?
Abstain?
Mr. Adler?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mrs. Ross?
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 abstain, motion carried.
Thank you. Deliberation agenda. Mr. Walther, would you like to do number 8, 9, and 10?
Yes, ma'am. Number 8, proposed action that the expulsions listed on the report dated November 7th, 2016 be approved as amended.
Second.
Mrs. Jackson?
Aye.
Dr. Davidson-Aviles?
Aye.
Mr. Adler?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mrs. Ross?
Aye.
6 ayes, motion carried.
Number 9, that expulsion, with the expulsion held in abeyance listed on the report dated November 7th, 2016, be approved as amended.
Second.
Mrs. Jackson?
Aye.
Dr. Davidson-Aviles?
Aye.
Mr. Adler?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mrs. Ross?
Aye.
6 ayes, motion carried.
Number 10, revocation of board probation, that the revocation of board probation listed on the report dated November 7th, 2016 be approved as amended.
Second.
Second.
Mrs. Jackson?
Aye.
Dr. Davidson-Aviles?
Aye.
Mr. Adler?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Walter?
Aye.
Mrs. Ross?
Aye.
6 ayes, motion carried.
Thank you. Presentations and suggestions by board members. Mr. Walther.
Just a comment, last week on Wednesday and Thursday, I was fortunate enough to go to a conference in Downers Grove called TURN, and it was a meeting that dealt with collaboration between school boards, administrators, and teachers. And I was pleasure to be part of that. Mr. Dutros and a number of the staff union were there. Dr. Ike was there. Board Member Shaw and myself, and several administrators. And I found it an extremely useful conference. There are some really exciting things going on in this country in the whole realm of collaboration, how the people working together do make things work. You know, I think one of the things, and I'll let him speak for himself, that impressed me was that school districts that work in collaboration, one of the things they found was that their student achievement scores went up, that there was an increase in teacher retention, and that there was a whole secondary list of side effects that worked a whole lot better when you had site level working together with district level. And so the collaboration thing, I was just wanted to say thank you for giving me the permission to go, because I was really impressed with that. And I think this board has that direction. And I think there's a lot more we can do, but I think it was a really good learning experience for me, and I was just glad to go.
Can you tell us what TURN means, what it stands for?
I would, but I have no idea. It's an acronym that I will default to.
Teachers
Mr. Dutros.
Union.
Teachers Union.
Teacher union.
Reform Network.
Yeah.
Teacher Union Reform Network, TURN. Thank you. Mr. Adler, did you have any comments? I'm looking at Mr. Shaw over there.
Just the overarching theme of the successful projects that were presented, they were all grassroots projects. So the staff administration went to the teachers and they set the goals and said, okay, here's where we want to go. And they went to the teachers and let them say how we're going to get there. So grassroots definitely was the most effective way to go.
Great. Ms. Jackson and I attended that conference last year, and we concur that, it was very helpful in understanding the collaborative efforts that need to happen in the school district. Okay. Any other presentations or suggestions?
Ms. Ross, may I?
Yes.
Just a quick comment regarding the passing of one of our teachers last week, Mrs. Karen Castle, longtime inclusion teacher at Roosevelt Magnet School. She's going to be missed, and I would like everyone to keep her family in our prayers. And she will be missed and was very, very beloved. She loved her kids. Actually, that Friday, actually, I think she passed on a Saturday, Jeff, but she wanted to see her kids and asked someone to pick her up, and they were doing a trick-or-treat activity, and they pushed her around, and so I'm sure she's was happy about that. But anyway, just wanted to share that with let everyone know that we're keeping her family in our prayers, and we're still thinking about her, and so I just wanted to share that with everybody else. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Jeff?
No, thank you. We're going to have a moment of silence at our meeting tomorrow, but you spoke very well. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr.
Adler Walters. It's-
I've been
You can
calling
blend them, it's
I've been calling
okay. We're
everybody
both
Mr.
Dans, it
Adler.
works, it's
I
okay.
probably want you to say moved. Go
Just
ahead.
one comment. I wanted to thank the Girl Scouts for being so good tonight, and I hope you all get a badge for coming to this meeting. So I just wanted to thank you.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask them, I see many of them taking notes. So I was going to ask you all, what kind of grade would you give us as board members? Because you're taking all kinds of notes over here. Anybody want to speak up? What kind of grade did we get tonight? Yes, ma'am. Oh, wonderful. All right, we're getting better then. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's usually a longer meeting.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm happy. We made it short just for you.
Okay, are there any reports from board committees that you've had committee meetings since our last one?
I just wanted to announce our next meeting. It is Wednesday, November 6th at 9:15 a.m.
And what meeting is that?
That's the policy committee.
Policy
Yep.
committee, okay. All right.
Think about stadium?
I am not 100% sure if we have the buildings committee meeting set yet. Daphne? No? Okay. We should get that set.
The proposals, you can announce proposals.
But we are still accepting proposals for future plans for Peoria Stadium. We had set that deadline here for the end of this week. And so any parties wishing to continue to pursue that conversation, your input is much appreciated.
All right. So if there is nothing else,
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
all right, thank you.
Magic tricks.